Order! Order!
The ayes to the right, 524. The noes to the left, 43.
Thank you. The ayes to the right, 524. The noes to the left, 43. So the ayes have it.
The conversation here in America is simple. We're willing to take on the latest band of desert-dwelling killers, but we will not do it alone. For that, we turn to some of the usual suspects, and that means the United Kingdom, our friends. They have indeed joined the fray against the phony Islamic State. But to what end? How committed are they? What might be the ramifications at home, there, and here? Welcome back to MidPoint. Former member of the UK Parliament, the senior economic consultant for Euro-Pacific Capital, John Browne, joins us again in studio. John, always a pleasure to see you.
Hello, good afternoon, Ed.
To you also. Let's go ahead and start things out. First of all, here's the press secretary for the White House, Josh Earnest, last week talking about the vote to join in the airstrikes against the Islamic State, saying that it benefits everybody around the world. Here's Josh.
The United States and the United Kingdom have a special relationship, and we are pleased to see the strong support from members of Parliament for members of the British military working alongside U.S. servicemen and women.
When we get to the UK now and talk about those and their wherewithal, their absolute determination to go after ISIS, is it there governmentally as much as our people would like to think?
I don't think so. I think we've just heard weasel words. First of all, a special relationship. That's key. And that's the reason Britain is in there, to protect the special relationship, which is the fundamental tenet of British defence policy. And therefore, in order to protect that special relationship, we had to agree to go in and join the American bombing. I think it's highly unpopular in Britain. It's considered to be illegal intervention in another country. And secondly, highly expensive. I mean, we're wasting billions of dollars on bombing elusive enemy in distant or near empty sand. And bombing is least effective in sand and least effective against terrorists. Even when you've got major formations of an army, a proper army, it's not going to win a war. There's no evidence at all that even a conventional war was won by aeroplanes. And I think the British people feel that the backlash in terms of terrorism is going to be very big, both in Britain and America.
But what about the strike first? Because there were those who would tell the British, you're closer. You're allies with America. They will come after you. There is a very deep Muslim community already in the United Kingdom as well. You may be the next target, so get in there. Help root these people out before they start killing your people.
Well, it's somewhat similar to throwing apples at a boxer in a boxing ring. It's going to hurt him, maybe bruise him, but annoy him, but it's not going to beat him. And the temptation when he's annoyed is to come out of the ring after you, where the Queensberry rules of boxing or rules of war don't apply and terrorism applies. And therefore, what I think is going to happen is that terrorism is going to hit Britain and America particularly hard. And Britain, we have huge Muslim populations in some of our cities, where the city, in certain areas of those cities, Sharia law actually rules now. And you see people, politicians, so frightened. There are often demonstrations by Muslims in Britain with the banners and the statements on the banners that if they were spoken or illustrated by the native English, the people would be in jail. But the politicians leave them alone.
Is there not a fear, though, in Britain from those homegrown terrorists? We talk about that right here in America. It would seem that Britain should be just as frightened.
For example, the Mayor of London, Boris, issued a warning last week about the London Underground, and he's quite right. But of course, if people don't go by the Underground, they're probably late to work, earlier to leave. It has a bad effect on the economy in general, and I think it's going to have people are going to be discouraged from visiting large department stores, from attending large public events like sport and things like that, and all that mean these revenues will fall. On the other hand, I think there will probably be a surge in home shopping online, home entertainment, and pay-to-view sporting facilities, which the markets will probably reflect those swing in in consumer spending.
15 seconds. Good move for Cameron or not?
Oh, I think Cameron, the reason he lost the first vote is very interesting, and the mainline media missed it. He lost it not because of an altruistic view on Iraq or Syria bombing. It was because the malcontents over him reneging on his cast iron guarantee for a referendum on Europe, he reneged on it, and a lot of Conservative members of Parliament were very angry and had to be whipped by those very people you saw earlier on in the program reading out the result.
Those cast iron moments. John, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. We'll do it again real
Thank you.
soon. All right, later on this hour, Democrats working furiously to ensure America's not about to dive into Iraq too. We'll go inside the Beltway and a lot more right here on MidPoint.